2025.
It took about a whole year, but hey, guys.
Wait. 3-2 bases loaded, dog.
¡Ay! Todavía queda. No sale un gallito.
Man, it is not so good to see you, but it's okay.
Hey, by the way, guys, I had to apologize. My boy's a little upset. I was running late.
Yes, he was. He was
as
running
the
late.
people that know me, man, just know that I'll never be on time anywhere.
Dude,
yeah, that's
this
just me.
dude's
I gotta
be
get
late.
better at that.
You're gonna be late to your own funeral, bro.
To my own wedding. Hey, by the way, my lady, you'll be watching this, but I might propose this year, man.
Why would you even say I might? Like,
I'm going to. I got to make sure I got some things straight up, but this could be the year.
I don't know if I should congratulate you or just.
Hey, you're coming. The whole family is coming. But, man, we're excited to be back, man. Some good content. A lot of people been asking.
I know.
A lot of people been asking, and we're like, hey, we're just trying to find out the right time. But shout out to those people that have been asking, and we'll make sure that we make it worth your time.
How was your Christmas? Good
Christmas. I get to go home to Puerto Rico. That was nice. Great weather. I jump in the beach naked 7 times.
Naked?
Yeah, just to make sure that all the bad stuff from
the
2024
goes away.
Goes away, and then I come to the States and it's freaking snowing. I said, man, I should have stayed. I should have stayed back home. How was yours? I heard you had your birthday.
I did.
Big 50. Yeah. Sorry, guys, not 50. How old are you?
38.
Only 38. Had a good birthday. Ate some Venezuelan food and chill out.
We just had some tequeños, dude. It's, but I appreciate it. Appreciate the gift.
I ate some leftover rice from.
I know.
It was supposed to be yours, but
we did have a good time, man. It was a good time, but
time to be back. Baseball season is back. Hey, I saw you post. on Facebook.
What post you talking about?
You did put a post
about.
I think that you are. I think you're kind of done looking. You just
man. I think that. I don't know which direction I'm heading. Clearly not. It's been a tough trend. I would say it's been a tough 2 days. Simply because you see it as the ultimate goal, and you try to shift things to another direction. So not really quite sure what I'm doing next. I just try to focus on a day-by-day basis.
Man, let me tell you this. Let me tell you something, because sometimes when you finally, you come to a place where you just lay it down, now you give God an opportunity to show you what's next.
Yeah.
And to me, that could be it. You probably fought so hard to make something happen that when you finally lay it down, now you're telling God, okay, God, now you show me what's next. Yeah. That's it. That's just me. Yeah. But man, whatever you do in life, man, you're gonna be great. You're a great person, and even though I don't like your shoes, but you're
what are you
still
talking about,
person.
man? Like, dude, my daughter picked his shoes, bro.
Never mind. I'm just playing.
Man, my daughter has great taste, man.
But hey, let's talk about something, man, that has been on my heart, my little heart.
Baseball is back. Which means gossip is back. Drama's back. Parents talking bad about other teams. Parents talking bad about
text messages to coaches.
Long text messages to coaches.
What else? I know that everybody, of course, the Sunday pictures.
Sunday pictures are back.
Sunday pictures.
Hey. Fundraisers to World Series are back.
Everything, man.
The liquor baskets, are back. The squares. We got to pay for one more tournament. Yeah. All those things are back, man. So, man, you take your pick, dude. Honestly.
Sounds like a lot of money, but hey, trials are over. I still see
trials are over. Trials are not over. Trials are not over, dude.
I follow that. What is it? The DFW North something baseball page.
Dude, at this point, dude, it's tryouts, dude. Hey,
just tell me you want to play.
Listen, man. I saw a tryout that said they had trials for fall 2025 already, dude.
These guys
They gotta
on
make
another
sure
level.
they gotta make sure the payroll runs through the year.
I mean, nothing against those guys, man. But at the end of the day, man, if you haven't found a player by now,
Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up.
But one thing that coaches don't want to do is they don't want to give it up. They end up with 8 players, and then they got to find an extra guy to come in and fill in every weekend because they still got to make some money.
Oh, but you know what the solution is? What they do is, don't worry, I got a guest plane that's gonna come. We're gonna keep that 8 player. We bring that in on that weekend.
This sounds
And on
very
Friday
familiar.
night, you see those guys scrambling. Hey, I need a player. I need a baller to come and help us out.
Hey, but I saw that on that Facebook deal that you can be posting on private. You know how the people that like anonymously. They say, hey, I want to play when my kid is available this weekend, but we don't know who you are.
Yeah, man.
You know, that's just nuts.
You know, I just think that people, man, I really hope that at some point it goes back to how things were at some point. Like back in, I want to say, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, like there was none of this, oh, I'm free this weekend, so let me go guest play with somebody else. Like, I think there's a point that, like, we got to start freezing rosters again. And
you know how many pissed off people will be?
Yeah, you know.
That you guest play a kid and you win a tournament and now that kid stays on your roster.
You know, also rosters are getting bigger. No, 11's not an option anymore, man.
You gotta have 12 if 12 want to get paid.
I seen 13 or 14 the other day. The other day, I heard a text. I got a text from a mom, and they were watching a game, and he goes, "Can you believe they got 6 players in the dugout?"
The POs, man.
POs at 12, baby.
11. I heard they got POs at 11, man.
It's getting crazy, man. It really is.
It's getting worse. Let's talk about fees. The highest one I've heard so far is $3,000.
I heard 3,500.
$3,000 for the spring, 10 tournaments, a World Series, and all you're gonna get is 1 practice a week. And that's, to me, I don't know. Good for those guys, man.
Hey, you gotta make your money however you gotta make it,
That you got it, great. If you got parents that can pay that money, hey.
Good for them.
Auto baby. But man, $3,000, that's when before you know it, it's gonna be 4,500.
Hey,
before you know it.
Because they're doing an investment, remember? Everything now is investment. Because now later on, you hope one of those guys will eventually sign and then can kick it back.
Man, what are the chances, man?
People are just, man, I see this pose and every day, and it's just tiring at this point, man. You just get tired of seeing everything that's going on. I can, if it's baseball, I can only imagine how the sports are. Like, can you imagine? Like, I just don't see it as something that is healthy for kids. It's just something that
travel ball, and I heard it from I have heard it from parents. I have heard it from coaches where travel ball is no longer for the kids.
Oh no,
travel ball is mainly for the ego of the parents to say that, hey, my kid is on so and so team. I'm posting this. And to me, all this social media propaganda is making so many parents of those kids that are not there yet so anxious.
Yeah.
So anxious about, I got to do this. I feel like I'm not catching up. My kid is not this because I'm not posting this. We're not going there. Like, guys, slow down. You guys, we get caught up with all this nonsense that you got to be on the top of the top for your kid to be recognized. You don't. You just got to make sure that you put in the work in when nobody's looking.
About this. We've been talking about this since we started. We've been talking about this. And look, bottom line is this. There's levels to this. There's levels of maturity. There's levels of you understanding the game. There's levels of performance. And look, yes, there's some kids that can go play up. Absolutely, absolutely. There's players, but there's no way an 11-year-old has the same maturity levels as a 14-year-old. Therefore, there's just there's it's got to be careful. It's got to be real careful what you do, and people just don't seem to have an understanding of what they want out of their kid. And let's face it, like 90% of all these kids that we're talking about and we see on a regular basis are probably just going to end up playing 4 years of high school, go to a JUCO, and then call it quits.
Which brings me to my next question. Going back to tryout. So there's a few parents that reach out to me because their son that literally play on some top teams all the way up to high school did not make his high school team.
Wow.
Now, how you explain that?
Ask them if they got a refund from all those select baseball teams.
So you're telling me that you invest all this money playing on a national team, going all over the country, and their kid did not make their high school team.
Wow, that is a...
Doesn't that? And another one, that was just one. Another one reached out because they did not like the idea that he made the JV team and not the varsity team, and they just got there.
Wow.
So I'm like, guys, are you really serious? You think that you're just going to walk on a high school team and think because you batted 4-hole on your little national team that all of a sudden you're going to go and show up to high school and they're going to love you when your daddy's been the coach the whole time?
Last episode that we had Arsenato here, Coach Sonato, which you were here, by the way.
Yep.
And he talks about in his whole lifetime, I don't know if he's got to 30 years of coaching, but he said that seven freshmen have ever started for him as a freshman. 7.
Wow.
Out of 30 years. It's
going to be a wake-up call for a lot of people that their kids get to play every day. They don't get to sit. And then all of a sudden, here comes your year of high school, and they don't think you're the big deal. Yeah, you're all over Facebook, you're all over Instagram, but you get to high school, and you're going to have to sit the bench. And, it comes down to this question. What happens to those players? What do you recommend from your perspective and, your years of coaching? Those kids that did not make their high school team. They're still 15. They're still in 9th grade.
Oh,
what will be their next step?
Well, I guess what? Like, what's the ultimate motivation story, right? You talk about Jordan got cut from his sophomore year, right? And then, the rest is history. So, it's hard, right? Like, it's hard, but it's not impossible. Like, you just got to continue to work. I recently had a conversation with a mom that her kid did not make the high school team, and but he felt like he got better. Like, he felt he got better. He's gonna continue to work hard. And look, there's so many avenues now to sign that there's just not like, it's just not your typical, okay, I go play select, then I go play high school, and then I'm assuming that a high school team is gonna jump into it just doesn't work that way anymore.
Yep.
So many different avenues, like Twitter, showcases. Obviously, summer ball is a big deal, but there's just not your typical protocol. There's one way to get it done.
Yep.
But I the high school part of it, like. And I got a lot of respect for a lot of the high school coaches, especially Coach Sonato. He was here last time. But and I'm not going to speak out of all of them because I'm sure there's a few that are. But there's a lot of them that don't do much for those kids.
Yeah.
And those kids, you don't see them until January 27. You don't spend a lot of time with them. So after that, you start developing a culture So there's not really a lot of developing when it comes to like some programs. You
Yep.
know, now some programs they do. I mean, they value the development part.
What I've seen is that by the time they get to high school, a lot of coaches expect those guys to know
Yes,
the game.
yes.
And to be honest with you, players by the time they get to high school, they have play more games that they actually have practice. So if you don't have a guy that's teaching you the fundamentals before the game, you play so many games that at the end of the day, you still got nothing up here
Right.
because when you get there, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have that coach that you coach that team that you were with all these years. Now you got to figure out inside of you if you know, you got to find out yourself out there. And
You know, I and obviously as a dad, you got to find ways for you to motivate your kid. You got to find ways. So how can you maximize your kid potential? I got an advice for some people is like for me, my son needs to be around kids that are better than him.
Yep.
That's so far that's the way that I can see my son. Hey, he got to strive to get better. You saw it in the fall. He was clearly at the bottom of the group at the beginning of the fall. Towards the end, it's like, who's this kid?
yep.
So I see a lot of people, and especially, and we have talked about this, especially this gap of the 12U 7th grade. I want to know, I would like to know, where's the advantage of you as a 7th grader being 12U, play 12U? I don't understand.
Yep. To me, if
The
you can
only
play
the
up,
only
do it.
thing that you can say is that you want your kid, you are not ready to let go of your kid from being the top dog.
Yes.
And I need to continue to put Instagram, blasting him with videos, blasting him with because in Instagram, every swing is a good swing.
Oh yeah, they're gonna post the best one.
You know, I
If
never
you only see one swing.
Yeah. Like you never see them struggle. Instagram,
Nah.
nobody ever struggles.
It's like your profile picture, man. Look at your profile picture. You're so handsome. You know? Everybody puts the best out there. You know, nobody wants to put the worst. But guess what? It's okay. But going back to these high school guys, look, any high school player that maybe you did not make the team, I'm speaking to you. You know, one thing that you got to realize is take this time to get physically stronger, you know, work on some speed, get stronger, hit the gym, really gain some strength, some power, and do some work on your own. Sometimes we get so caught up that we have to be on a team that we don't realize that probably just doing more on your own, you get more done than actually being with a current team that only practice once a week anyway.
Because it all goes back to what's the final product. What is your ultimate goal is? Well, my goal is to make it to college. Okay, cool. So you didn't make the team. That doesn't mean that you're not going to reach your goal. There's a place to play for everybody. I don't care who you are. There's a place to play. There's so many university, college, JUCOs, and now with the new rule of the JUCO, like
Yep.
now it's even, now there's more avenues.
More chances.
So, but going back, it's like the protocol, right? Like, oh well, I don't make the high school team. Like, man, come on, dude. Like, that has nothing.
Don't give up. Don't give up as a parent. Don't get anxious. You know, don't think that this is the end of the world because it's not. You know, there's still next year. You know, just really make it a priority to get bigger, to get stronger, to work on your speed. And by the time that you come back and try out, you have to do something different. And, but some of them, they just want to get caught up and jump on the first team that gives them an opportunity. And then they find out, man, this dude, all he wants to do is get paid.
Collect
Money. He needs another body. He needs another check. And now you literally, instead of getting better for your next year of tryouts, you got worse because you got so anxious about being on a team. So slow it down.
And
slow it down.
you know, and I it's my new word for this year. Last year was development. That was a
what
key
does that
word.
even mean? I don't even.
We don't
care
know.
about
My
it.
new word for y'all: national. If the word national is not on a team name,
hey,
they
do,
suck.
Do we have time for
we
this?
suck.
I do think that this has to be next chapter. I think next Friday. But because there's so much, because I want to talk to you guys about, what happened to my team. But we don't have a lot of time.
Wait.
We don't have a lot of time.
You didn't put the word national on it?
I did not. That's what happened.
Oh man, see, that's what happens.
But this is a topic that, man, we got to cover this from the very beginning because it's a heated one. It's a heated one. I learned a lot from it. I didn't want to get caught up on the big name just to recruit people.
Come
but
on, man.
At the end of the day, that's the word everybody's using right now.
It's crazy how it doesn't look and I want to bring this couple points and like national gives me the same impression as some of these people that go and take lessons based on convenience.
That's another one, chick. Oh my God, you're getting ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself. But hey, these are good topics. We a little more on tryouts. Don't you think that any kid that tryouts for a big organization, for the most part, don't they make the team?
Oh, everybody makes the team. Come on, man.
So is there really tryouts anymore?
Hell no.
When
no
at the end of the day, you could have never played baseball in your life. And you show up to a tryout for a big organization, and guess what? You're going to get a letter on your mail saying you make the team.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You make our AA team. You make this.
Here's our QR code. Be more than welcome to deposit the $500.
So, yes, that's when you know everybody's making. And if I'm wrong, please somebody comment below.
There's nobody that gets cut.
But nobody's getting cut anymore. Everybody makes it, which makes it so easy, and gets to my next point that I truly believe, and I'm gonna piss somebody off.
And look, and this is the funny part because you just hear it, right? So there's a kid who's really good, but I can't cut the kid on top of the national team. So what they tell us, hey man, he's just right there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in the lower level on the next team. And then I'm going to bring them up to guest playing on those big tournaments. Promises. Like promises. It's like, come on, man.
You know how many guys are promising kids that, hey, start on my AAA, start on my majors team, and then eventually I'll
start on a AAA. Come on, man.
Like AA, AAA, but every and I got caught up in this. I got caught up in the moment that the only way you can grab a good kid of not letting go is you got to promise him that you're going to put him in the best team you got in the organization.
And not charge him.
Not
and then they got to pay for free. They got to pay for free.
Ooh. Hey, this one is a big one right here. I don't know if this one, we might bring it up onto the next one, but it happens a lot these days that a lot comes from the World National because most kids on a national team don't pay.
Yep.
Don't pay. Which means that you got to have enough teams in the organization.
Take care of the top one.
To take care of the main team. Because if you're charging a kid on your national team, guess what? He ain't going to stay there. He's going to go to the plays because, of course, daddy thinks that I don't deserve to pay. I don't deserve to pay that $3,000. No. Either my kid don't pay nothing or I take him somewhere else.
Yeah.
But in these days, they're offering money for kids to come play. So I mean, it's just getting out of control, and it makes me to this that I was gonna say is that, and somebody's gonna get really mad at me for saying this, but because of travel ball in U.S. athletes are gonna start going down,
declining
when at the end of the day, Japan is staying on top of it. You're seeing more Japanese. Japan right now is number 1 in baseball, by the way, which we don't think that. We think U.S., but no. Japan is eating us like candy. They really spend time with their players. They're disciplined. They're spending time on the field. It's not like us that we just practice one time and see you Saturday, Sunday. They're going the extra mile. Of course, Latin players. You know it. In Dominican, there's no days off. There's nothing. You know, they don't even go to school. They're on a baseball field every day.
Yeah.
And now more academies are rising up. In the U.S., for you to be in a baseball academy, you got to have some pesos in your bank.
You got to.
Because to go to IMG Academy, not everybody walks in there. And, yeah, they do baseball every day. They got some top-notch coaches. But you got to have a lot of money to go there. What are the chances that a kid can go there? So there's not that many IMGs in U.S. You may have 1 or 2 academies out there that are doing it, but at the end of the day, if we are more worried about making money out of these kids than actually teaching them the game, man.
But nobody going to admit that, right? Like nobody's
in
going
5
to
to 10 years, you're gonna see that in the draft. Man, there ain't gonna be that many Latin players.
But nobody wants to admit that.
American
Nobody wants to
players.
admit about the.
But I might be wrong, and I hope that I am wrong. But we're so caught up with making sure that kids are paying all this money and all this and that, and at the end of the day, man, we're doing it all backwards.
But it's a business, right? Like, when did we said this? Like, and I go back because there's a lot of things that we have said before already. It's like, look, we figure out a way how not to go work an 8 to 5, right? So there's got to be a fine balance of how we're doing things. But you're right. Like the way things are right now, we are not seeing. We're seeing dumber baseball players. Like we are. We no longer know how to double cut. We no longer know how to run bases. We no longer because it takes time.
It takes effort as a coach.
Yes.
For you to put the work out there, but no, we just expect the guys. Oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're winning ball games, so why teach them?
Yeah.
You know, they're winning based on talent, not because they actually know what they're doing. You know, your kids are stronger. They're overpowering over kids. So, yes, it makes it easier for you to win a game. But when you play against a team that is fundamentally, ready to go, and they're also talented, you got no chance. It's
tough for us. And it's tough for me as a dad because when I'm standing outside and I'm watching some of this practice or a game or anything like that, you always tend to want to compare, right? But you forget. You're still a dad.
Yep.
So you were willing to accept the fact that you're going to put your kid on this team. So you got to be quiet. Like now, and the reality is that
tough.
We're not going to find guys like us. It's tough. It's tough finding guys that have that type of mentality, like hungry, that Latin type practice environment on a regular basis where there's a lot of things, there's a lot of moving parts. You don't see that anymore.
Nope.
And
I think it's hard for and this is all I'm gonna say on this, but you don't see that many coaches anymore.
No, you don't.
You mainly see because the coaches, they get run off by who?
Parents.
By the parents. Okay? The coaches, the true coaches that are not going to play your baby just because you want them to play, they get run off by the parents. So now what has to happen? A parent has to come and coach so he can baby the water. He got to make sure everybody plays and that's what's making everything worse. These guys don't know how to run practices. There's so much standing around. All you're doing is they're feeding guys to the machine. They throw batting practice. They run 3 laps, and let's call it a day.
Well, I said from a standpoint of a organization owner, that's another advantage, right? Because now your bottom line is it's not going to get empty because now you're not paying that guy. Now you're giving him a discount. Hey, you coach this team. You someplace for free. I'll take care of the rest. So you're like, oh, of course. And like, oh, I played college ball. Okay, cool, good for you. So, and I've been around organizations, and I had an interview. I'm not gonna say an interview, but there's an organization that approached me earlier in the fall, and they had a top team on a particular age, which they could have given me, and like, nah, why don't we start a brand new one? I said, but my credentials don't speak for themselves. So there's just all sorts of evidence, but ultimately it's just getting tired. Like everybody just kind of like,
Well, the organization, going back to this, the organization wants to make money.
Yeah.
But they don't want to pay coaches.
Yeah.
So what happens is that if you bring a coach that kind of knows, you pay him the average of $700, $600, maybe $1,000 a month, which by the end of the day, you got to be a single person. If you're a coach, and man, you better have a 12-man roster so that guy gets taken care of. But at the same time, as an organization, they want to keep all the money, so they just get whoever. Man, how many teams are coached by a guy that has no business or no relationship with any of those kids?
Well, man, how many times have we said it here? How many times we have said it here? It's a truly called organization. I really would like to know. Look, let's go all over the United States and give me an organization in which teams are practicing the same way all across the board.
They're not.
You can count them with your fingers. They don't, because it's not important for us. It's not important to develop. But
they got 20 teams.
But they got 20 teams.
But everybody's teaching what they want.
Don't call yourself an organization. We're just wearing the same jersey.
Exactly.
Well,
but hey,
we're back.
We are back, baby. Hey, so many people like it because what I keep hearing, the feedback is this.
You guys say what you guys want to say.
We guys say those things that everybody thinks about.
Nobody wants to say.
But nobody wants to say.
Because nobody wants to hurt nobody's feelings.
No, man.
But guess what? Ain't no repercussions here.
But man, thank y'all for watching, and man, we love you guys, and we can't wait. Stay tuned for
we will
next
be consistent.
Friday.
We'll be consistent,
it's coming.
Man.
Hey, we need a sugar daddy out there. Hey, you're gonna come out and pay for our stuff so we can bring good content out there. And hey, if you want to promote your team, if you want to promote your business, hey, let us know. We charge you a small fee. We bring you out here and we talk with you. We give you some questions and you get out there. But hey, at the end of the day, don't miss next Friday. We're talking about national. So hey, if you're hearing that word quite a bit, you better stay tuned.
3-2 bases